fantasy.
Ganja, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. I was just singing some fucking old Beyonce song.
People,
I mean, talking about Baby Boy, so that song just popped into my head.
I just love that shit.
Don't insult how good that song is and how bad that movie is.
Dude, Summer Madness though. Summer Madness. So, by the way, Ganja, did you watch Baby Boy back in the day?
No, I have actually never watched this movie. I've only seen it in passing when my fucking ratchet friends will have fucking UPN in the background.
Oh yeah, people are saying, yeah, damn, you played the intro halfway. Yeah, you know what, dude? I'm sick of those fucking those bass drop things. I gotta wait forever and shit. It's awkward as fuck.
You want the bass drops? Go check out EDM.
Exactly.
No, Nick loves those. He just kind of fucked it up, and he's trying to brush it off.
No, legitimately, like I left at 13 seconds. I actually remember to the fucking thing. I'm gonna prove right now. I'm gonna go scroll back to 13 seconds. I'm gonna show you guys how good I am at this shit. Check it out. Boom, bass drop. See, I started right at the bass drop. Oh my goodness, look how good I am. I should have been a DJ. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, trying to get back to the main channel. Now I'm fucking up.
Yep.
Anyways, what's up, chat? How you guys doing? So I didn't see you guys earlier today because I was doing some other stuff. Ryan's like, Nintendo Direct sucks. Should not be a sentence when this Capcom and Bandai events happen. Damn straight. So.
Oh, Capcom. I forget Capcom did an event because it's like, we shut up. Hey, update for Monster Hunter and a game that only came out in Japan. Bye.
Yeah, dude, and here's the thing. I wasn't most excited about Capcom. I was really like, oh, dude, here we go. Dude, like, there's even a part here where they fucking said, like, yo, guys, so we're going to work on Resident Evil Village. So thank you. I'm like, you're going to? Like, did you come to the office and was like, hey, guys, listen, we're working on it, all right?
Hey, Bob from the DLC department. What do you got for Village? We got something. What do you got? Something. Good job. You're promoted. And then he leaves like, what?
Yeah.
Like what's the DLC? Are we playing as Chris? Are we doing something else? Are we going to be playing as the main character Ethan, but like in a separate side adventure in between? Like I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm glad they're working on DLC. The game was incredibly popular, and I'd like to play more. But it's just like, oh hey, we got DLC. I mean, that's cool and all, but like, why are you guys here?
Yeah, no, it was really fucking stupid. And I mean, I'm not gonna say stupid. That's dumb on my part. My bad. I should be a better podcaster than that. It's not stupid, but I will say that like it's very underwhelming because. I mean, and I wasn't expecting too much out of this, but this is the Bandai Namco thing. They had Retromania and some other things here. But every game
after Nintendo, I'm like, I'm good. I'm done with these things.
Oh, let's get into that shit. So we're gonna. By the
Was
way,
there anything at the Bandai Namco show? Because I didn't feel like watching another one.
Future games, and dude, like, there's like a bunch of other shit that I just like. Okay, here's the thing, guys. There is a such thing as being overwhelmed with good things. Because I liked the first couple of days. They were cool. I like Square stuff. I liked a bunch of Microsoft was fucking great. The thing is, though, it's like. When these things happen, I will get fucking like overwhelmed with too much shit because it's like they're throwing everything out there and it's like, okay, well, I can't even like focus on anything because you're not giving me enough information about the really, really interesting different things, but you're giving me too much information. Like, there's no reason why I saw Far Cry 6 in 3 different days. I'm excited for Far Cry. I cannot wait for Far Cry. It's going to be fucking great. I don't need to see it 3 fucking days. I also do not need to see fucking Mario vs. Rabbids 2 fucking days. You know what I mean? Why the fuck did I do with Ubisoft? Ubisoft, you have a lot of shit. You got Assassin's Creed, you got Division, you got this, you got that. So many things you could just talk about, say you're working on, maybe some DLC stuff. You love your fucking DLC. Like, you can do everything you play, Ubisoft, whatever the fuck it's called. And yet you still want to do Nintendo thing? Like, leave that for Nintendo.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, but at the end of the day, I think it's just that people that like Nintendo Direct, people that are like Nintendo fans, like, don't watch, like, not to say don't watch, but like, I think Nintendo's thing is like, look, if you want to Switch and you're part of this, like, you don't really care about, like, because we're crazies that love gaming, love these things, so we'll watch everything. Not everyone's going to watch everything, so they want to do that, especially with collaborations, because doing the fucking Mario and the Rabbids, that's a pretty big deal because no other major publisher has the right to take Mario or anybody else and do something in. So it's kind of a big deal. They're doing 2 of them. That blows my mind that they even got one of them off the ground, let alone they made a sequel. No, so it's like that. I get, yeah.
Well, the other thing I was gonna say too is like another thing that's confusing. It's like now they got like 2 different things moving forward in one franchise, like the Metroid. So look, I don't know much about the Metroid series, so you can definitely like correct me here. But what I'm imagining right now is that they're working on Metroid Prime 4, and then they just said, "Oh, this is Metroid 5." And it's like, okay, wait, hold on. Like, Metroid 5 is clearly a side-scrolling. Metroid Prime, I remember, is first-person shooter. So You have two franchises going forward in the same lane. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
No. Okay, so the best way to sum it up is think of it now, not from a name. Like I'm gonna explain the naming convention in a second, but right now the image I want in your head, Nick, is Resident Evil 2 and 3, Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
That's what I want in your head right now for everyone in the audience. Third-person action adventure, first-person shooter. It mirrors it perfectly. So the original games that were called Metroid, or for Metal Gear fans, think of Metal Gear versus Metal Gear Solid. Either way, you're going to get the idea. You have the Metroid series, which was, Metroid 1, Metroid 2, Return of Samus, Fusion, which are part of the Metroid series.
Yeah.
The Metroid Prime series is made by an American developer, I believe, Retro Studios, and they're the first-person shooters. They're essentially prequels to the whole franchise. They put the Prime on there as a way to differentiate it. So right now, currently in the works, is Metroid Prime 4, a sequel to Metroid Prime 3, but that's a prequel to Metroid. It's the prequel to the first Metroid. So Metroid Dread right now is the 5th one. So this is the one that's the furthest along in the timeline. So think of it as Metroid Dread is Resident Evil 8.
Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. I mean,
I spent 5 hours trying to figure that out, bro. I was losing my mind. I was like, Metroid 5? What? Let me go into this wiki. It's
and then they call it that at first, and then they stopped calling it that. And I was like, okay, you just called it something and you took it away. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So confusing. First time I didn't notice it, I was like, oh yeah, Metroid Dread. That's a great name. Then I went back like, Metroid 5? What? Then I was like, wait a second, there's 4 coming out. This is a sequel to a game that's not out yet? No, there's an entire naming convention. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid is what it is. Like, that shit was getting on my fucking nerves. Like, you guys could easily simplify this shit, and, like, you purposely...
They did! They just did both. They made it complicated and simple at the same time.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking, like, I don't know. It got on my nerves in that sense. Ran double, there we go. I always want to say ran double because double means 2, so I don't know. I'm fucking stupid. He says, I like Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid Dread looks good. So, on the 2D aspect of this, man, what'd you feel about it, Alan?
Oh, cool. Am I allowed to go into detail? Like, we're going
Well,
into
let's
it?
not go fucking, 10 minutes or anything, because we got a lot of shit to talk
obviously,
about.
but if we're going into, I guess, the Nintendo Direct, the biggest thing that came out of there was Metroid Dread. And in all honesty, I remember saying this, hours before the show, they're just going to forget Metroid Prime 4 exists. They've been doing it for 3 years. But the first word is hell yeah, anniversary and Metroid Prime 4, it's in development. But until then, we have this. I was like, oh, they're going to do a remake. They're going to put, the Metroid Prime trilogy on Switch. But they're like, no, we have an entirely game that's coming out in 3 months. And I was giddy because I love the Metroid series. Samus is my favorite character. Samus is the character I play in Smash. The only character. I don't have 5 characters to play in Smash. I only play 1. She's one of my favorite fucking characters. Was one of the first characters that got the toxic masculinity out that women could be incredibly powerful fucking figures in video gaming. She's one of my favorite characters. I've never beaten a Metroid game in my life. I've beaten the Metroid Prime games, but those games are hard as fuck. They're extremely fucking difficult to play. It's a mix of not necessarily the games. It's not like Dark Souls, but it's more of the traversal, trying to figure out where you're going. And the bosses are difficult, but it's mostly just trying to get through the environment because there's no real map system. So you kind of Dark Souls-ing your way of just trying to figure out which door goes where. And you need certain upgrades to get past certain parts. But the games are really, really fun. Rand brings up Metroid Return to Samus. That's a sequel to the first one or the second one. I'm not too familiar. But one of the things that I loved about it was the change of the combat system because they had the whole charge beam and all that stuff, but they had a counter, which was really cool, and they had a lot of ways to traverse. And I was like, wow, it's upsetting they never made another one of these. But then they said with Metroid Dread, hey, we're taking that engine, we're doing a game for the Switch, it looks amazing, they're adding stealth, they're adding a lot of cool shit in there, and the suit looks awesome, so I'm super excited for this. To me, as soon as this comes out, I'm buying it.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be really cool. El Apocalypse saying Kid Icarus franchise has been sitting on the bench for years. I don't know if they're gonna be coming back or anything. Did I miss anything with that? Did they kind of bring them up by passing or whatever, or no?
No, but Kid Icarus has been so the guy who made the last Kid Icarus game for the 3DS, which is probably why he's bringing it up because Return of Samus is on that system as well. Is the guy that is the director of the Smash Bros. Franchise, and
okay.
That guy works too hard. Legitimately, he works too hard. He is always working all the time. He is always coding. He's always doing something. He's not one of those producers, oh yeah, I run the whole thing, yada yada, as I go back to postcard. He is coding all the goddamn time. He does so much of the work that he was oh my god. At one point he almost worked himself to death during the 4th game. It's kind of nuts.
So speaking of Smash and everything, I want to bring this up. So right away, I was looking at this and I was like, oh shit, are we gonna have a
they fucking murdered Ganon? I was like, god damn.
Yeah, because Jeb was watching it with me. She's like, oh my god, this is Zelda thing. Alan's gonna be happy. And then it's this guy, and it's like, Oh, here we go. This is already kind of a bad start if Alan's watching this right now. But
Actually, it's kind of at first I was like, oh shit, he really got fucked up, but I'm like, wait, I recognize that Ganon. That Ganon's from The Legend of Zelda. Sorry, Ocarina of Time specifically. But then I'm like, wait a second, no, that's also specifically from Smash. Oh, this is a Smash fucking intro, and I was like, oh, this guy. I'm glad it's not another sword fighter, but I kind of find it funny they got a Tekken fighter in here. I'm like, so does that mean Negan could be in Smash?
oh yes,
Yes,
that would
it
be
does.
terrible.
Hilarious.
That would be fucking awful. Like, I mean, technically, it's like, yeah, if Tekken's in here, I mean, that's a Capcom thing.
I'm still
so, like,
waiting for Master Chief to show up.
yeah,
Fuck.
well,
Look,
yeah. I mean,
I don't think they'll ever do that. I don't think Master Chief, Doomslayer, or Dante. Honestly, Dante, his days are numbered. He's getting his Smash. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one.
The problem is, and this is the thing I was talking to Jed about too, and I really wish he was here right now because I want to go on a big rant against her really quick because Jed's not excited too much about certain things, but she does bring up like how she does enjoy Smash, just like a lot of people in the chat right now. But my problem is like Smash, I feel like, especially with Smash Ultimate, you're basically just playing a re-randomized, not re-randomized, but a re-customized version of the same character like 20 times. It's like, I know there's like 60 people or like 80, maybe even 100 plus fucking characters, but like, there's about 30% of them they're just another version of someone else. Like all the sword fighters are the same, all the melees are the same. Snake is like the only one who actually is different from everybody, but he's not even fun to play with. Like it's just like everybody fucking sucks. Like that game is the most unsatisfying fucking game to play. And
couldn't disagree with you more. But like the thing about what Smash what makes Smash interesting is it's not a fighting game in the traditional sense where it's like you have a XYB combo with a in a stick inputs. Except for oddly enough the Capcom fighters, that's a different discussion. As far as what a typical Smash player Smash character is, it's like you have your B inputs, you have your jumps, and it's a physics based fighting game. So you're essentially you create your own combos. Is what it ends up being. Like I have specific combos that I do with Samus that nobody does. Hell, there's things that other Samus fighters do that I never even touch. Like I'll never drop a bomb because I don't see the goddamn point. I barely use the grapple. But if I'm fighting someone else that plays the same character as me, you get to see how the combination of different physics gets you different things going on. So if you have a situation in which you have like two clone fighters, let's say you're playing as literally two of the same character, because of how the game is worked within its physics, they play completely differently. Somebody can focus more on upwards attacks or somebody can more focus on the air. So there's a lot of variety, even if the characters aren't 100% unique. Like something like Mortal Kombat, it's like, Scorpion doesn't play exactly as Sub-Zero. They're entirely unique play sets. Two Scorpions, on the other hand, it's like, okay, you'll start to see some things. People will choose different aspects, but it's like there's only so much you can go in there when you're playing a mirror match. That's why mirror matches are tough, because you almost know what the other person's gonna do, but with Smash, it's like you can night and day it. Like there are people that play again, Link's a perfect example. There are people that play Link that'll just go up close and just slice, but there are people like that will just stay back because he has arrows. He has so much in his arsenal, you can do that. So even if you have 15 sword fighters, the sword fighters have enough unique moves to differentiate. The only issue is people don't like sword, or there are too many of a specific type. Like there are too many sword fighters, that ends up being a problem. That's why Kazuha getting in here, he's a melee person, very similar to the last couple with which again Ryu, Ken, and all the other Street Fighter and King of Fighters people, because they're actual fighting game characters with their movesets. They didn't just they didn't just dilute them. They actually gave them the inputs. So the thing is, though, is like, I'm looking at the chat. Someone said, like, yo, it would be really cool for them to bring back Power Stone. For me, the thing that was upsetting about Capcom is, like, they should have brought back Down Crisis. I'm pretty upset that we don't get this kind of coming back. And I know it's like, okay, well, Snake Diaz going again with this fucking dinosaur bullshit and this Resident Evilisms, but, like... I love you like a brother, but it ain't ever happening, Mo. Well, no, because, see, like, I know I look stupid right now to be expecting that every single fucking year, but you made yourself look dumber by saying that it's not going to happen, because it's so going to happen. Like, no, hey, look, man, hey, I feel you. I've been waiting for Wind Waker for 3 years. It ain't happening. I give it up. You just give up with me. Just say it's over. Wind Waker's never coming out on the Switch. It's over. Just join me. And Dino Crisis is never getting a remake. I mean, look, we can go back and forth on that a lot, but I don't want to. The thing is, though, speaking of that, we got to talk about this really quick. So, and I don't know what's up with me trying to type this fucking name. I almost ruined our title for the YouTube portion of the stream like 4 times because I kept playing Legend of Zelda, Breathe of the Wild. Breathe of the Wild. And then... I don't blame you on that one. Breath of the Wild, and then Breath Wild of... I mean, I just, no matter what, I can't fucking say it right. Wild. Yeah, dude. But so I mean, once again, look,
not to be the most unpopular fucking person over here, but like I do think that this Breath of the Wild thing, it looks better for sure, but it is a lot of the same. And I will say that Breath of the Wild, the first one, is very overhyped. I don't think it's that great of a game. It's doing something different. I think it's a good game in general. But when it comes to Zelda standards, every Zelda game has had an identity where I was like, oh, that's the fucking shit. I love it. Or even if I dislike it, it's very Zelda, so I can kind of like have a little bit of fun with it. But Breath of the Wild, it's like I almost feel like everyone was obligatorily like, "Yay, Zelda!" And it's like, has it been that long, or did you guys forget Skyward Sword came out, or like what was it?
As you should. But in all honesty, you'd think I would agree with you on the situation. But in all honesty, Breath of the Wild to me, I have a lot of issues with it. But to me, it's like I dissect it right down to what is adding to the series, and in my opinion, it takes away more from the series than it adds in. But this is where I'll add in the but of it. What it adds to the series is one of the best open worlds that the series has ever had. The series has always been open world. It's just they didn't really know how to fill the open world. I hate when you say that because the game's always been open world. It's just the open world element hasn't always had stuff that other open world games before, during, and after has had. But with Breath of the Wild, it's like as you're moving towards your various quests, there's always something going on. There's some sort of monster you can fight. There's some sort of interesting little
okay, but see, real quick, not to interrupt, but it's like that's one of the things that frustrates me is like, look, anywhere you go, there's always a monster fight. It's like that's every fucking game in the universe. Even Pac-Man has that.
But that's what I mean though. Like on the way, there's always something going on. Even with the little puzzle, there's the little dungeons that you along the way where it's like you go in, you do a little puzzle, and you get a thing to increase your health. That's essentially the exploration to help you get through the game because the game is, I'd say the game is pretty difficult. So what the exploration, because the exploration is a huge part of Breath of the Wild, is to get better weapons or to get upgrades on your health or your stamina. And that what makes the game a lot of fun. And I enjoyed that part. But I remember always playing Breath of the Wild going, this is a tech demo, much like RE7. And RE7, to me, I love the game, but I'm like, this to me is Capcom going, hey, can we do a first-person Resident Evil and make it work? They did. RE8 comes out and goes, okay, we're going crazy. We're doing whatever we want. Massive success. Nintendo's like, look, man, these games have always been open world, but we've always had problems filling the open world. I love Wind Waker. It's one of my favorite fucking games ever. But one of the things I wish there was more little islands to explore. I wish there's more little things to get, things on the way, because it's beautiful to see the ocean, but if I'm not seeing an island on my way to another island, it's kind of like, look, man, this is pretty to watch, but I need something else going on. With this, it's like it doesn't have that problem. There's always something to see. There's always something to explore. With Breath of the Wild 2, and they're not going to call it that. They're going to Breath of the Wild. They're going to call it Legend of Zelda something, whatever the fuck. But like to me, it's like they're going to be like, look, we made this work. It's extremely successful. People liked it. Now we have to make it better. Now we have to make it incredible and make it more traditional at the same time. And that's why I'm excited for it, because I was looking at this trailer going, okay, you're taking a lot of the elements, but I want to see how you master them.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to really say to that because I mean, like, I fundamentally disagree with pretty much a lot of the stuff you said about Breath of the Wild. And granted, I don't know shit about the second game that's going to be coming out, but at the same time, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, you know, it looks better, so that's cool. And you got to keep in mind that when the first one came out, it was around the Wii U, whatever the fuck time. So it's like, you know, the game's not going to go full force with its capabilities because yeah, it's in a weird little like, you know, cross generational fucking thing. This, it's like, okay, this is going to be the best that they can do. At least I hope so. But what's so funny about the best they can do, because I mean, we can't talk about this trailer too much because there's really not a lot here. I mean, yeah, they're going to be doing shit. We'll talk more about it when like these things kind of, yeah, when they continue to reveal things, we'll talk about it more. But the thing is, though, is what's funny about, you know, capabilities and what you can do. Guys, I defended Nintendo a few months ago when they did the 35th anniversary of Zelda because I was like, okay, it's March, but that was a Japanese release. They're gonna hold off till like, you know, the summer, maybe even September, and do a big reveal and a big like thank you Zelda 35th anniversary around that time because that was a North American release. There's two different like anniversaries here. The problem is though, this thing starts off. They talk about the Breath of the Wild thing, but that was like at the end of like their whole like Zelda section. But the problem is though, it's like they finally brought Legend of Zelda like the first game, like 35th anniversary birthday. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. And these motherfuckers have the audacity.
Hey, we got the triple pack. Yes, stupid motherfuckers.
No, they fucking the Game and Watch.
What the fuck
Game
is that?
and Watch.
I literally thought that pulled that out. The first thing I thought of was, oh, they're putting Minish Cap on the Switch.
Oh, I've never. And then on top of the Game and Watch, guys, they put the original shitty version of Link's Awakening on that motherfucker. So imagine spending more money on the Game and Watch edition of the Game Boy edition of a fucking game that you don't like.
Why?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I honestly think it's a joke. Is it April Fool's? Like, is this a joke?
Did Zelda like fuck their girlfriend and they're like, let's fucking
No,
make sure.
it just consistently sold consoles for them. You know, nothing big. It just sold 3 consoles in a row.
This is the dumbest shit.
It's like they got a Game Boy SP. What the fuck is that?
Oh,
usually I don't mind when they do this shit because I'm like, look, usually when they do this, they combine it with something that's like, look, I don't like it, but hey, there's something else for me along the same side of like, if they did this and then did also a Wind Waker triple pack, I'd be like, you know what, whatever. I get what I want. Somebody else gets what they want. This is just like, bro, we're not going to give you what you want. We're going to give you what some grandma wants. Like, who actually gives a shit?
Yeah, man. And like, what's funny too is like they even showed the fucking I was about to click on the wrong thing, but the whole what's that shit called? The Age of Calamity. That fucking.
Oh
thing?
yeah. They did an expansion, which I mean,
Well,
it
which
looks
is fine.
cool, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's cool and everything, but it's like, god damn, like you guys didn't read the room at all. Like this game just barely came out. You can do an anniversary or whatever like thing next year. You can do something with this. It's new. You can do whatever you want with it at any time, at any direct. And they literally just do this shit like, hey, so we know you guys want Ocarina of Time, right? Majora's Mask. Look, Alan, I'm gonna be honest. I completely disagree with your want for Wind Waker because I don't even think it just makes sense for it right now. But you know, at least do Ocarina of Time. I don't even like Ocarina of Time. But my God, if there's ever a time to do it, why the fuck now? Or you know, or why not now?
They dedicate the last 10 minutes to the Legend of Zelda franchise as far as it. But in all honesty, it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, yeah, we're celebrating the 35th. We didn't do any show fair or any cool logo or anything. We just, hey, it's 35th and here's an expansion pack to a game that doesn't even feel like a Zelda game. Here is a sequel to a game that won't come out for another 2 fucking years. And here we just shout out this fucking Game and Watch, have fun. It's like it's disrespectful to the franchise that sold them 2 consoles in a row, and it still sold the Wii Motion Plus. Like the only reason you bought that was for Skyward Sword.
By the way, they sold the Switch. I'm sorry, but does anyone buy the Switch for Mario Odyssey? I don't think so.
It didn't come out then. It came out later.
Yeah.
Remember, for the first year and a half, it was only Legend of Zelda and a handful of ports. That's why people said, "Oh, it's the Zelda machine." Eventually, they started coming out with, legitimate games, and it became a viable console. But legitimate, and by the way, it sold the Switch. It also sold the Wii.
Yeah. But that's the thing that's so fucking silly about this. It's like, you guys couldn't do this. Like, I understand, like, not liking Ocarina of Time, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, dude, it's also hitting an anniversary. I believe this fucking thing came out, what, 1998?
1997.
97? Okay. I could swear it was 98, but I could be wrong. But either way.
Honestly, if you know what, we can go with 98 just because there's a good chance I am wrong, but I remember being 97.
Yeah, but on that note, though, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, it's been a while. I mean, maybe it's not, yeah, I mean, I guess it would be like, what, 23 year? Oh, fuck.
It's an odd number, but at the end of the day, it's like, look, man, Ocarina of Time is one of the most important games in the franchise because it was the first time it went 3D and it was successful. The Legend of Zelda has never had a fit, except, and honestly, I'll say this: Skyward Sword, in my opinion, is a failure, but it wasn't for the franchise. This is a franchise that's never had a single blunder. Every game has either been a genre-defining or really good. There's no bad Legend of Zelda games. Now, if you talk to the fans, it'll be like, this one's better, this one's whatever the fuck, and we'll have gigantic fistfights about which one's the best. But you talk about a franchise.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you're going to fight one day over fucking Link to the Past versus Ocarina of Time. We already have.
Probably, yeah.
The CD Philip games don't goddamn count.
Fuck you. Where's that anniversary at? You're talking about fucking Wind Waker that looks like a fucking goofy little gummy bear version of what fucking Legend of Zelda is. But like the CDI ones, that's the shit we need,
garbage.
Son. That's the shit we need, bro.
Nobody cares about
Dog
at all besides you.
And Hotel Mario. Fuck you. No, go ahead.
Never played Hotel Mario. But at the end of the day, it's like Ocarina of Time is such an important game to the franchise. Like that started Zelda down its trajectory. Like between the Legend of Zelda and Ocarina of Time and Mario 64, they sold not only 3D gaming but the fucking 64. Like it's such an important franchise that has had such an important history alongside Mario that the disrespect here is. I'm also legitimately mad at Nintendo right now. Like I'm excited for Metroid 4, but I'm insulted as a fan of Legend of Zelda. Like, I have so much Legend of Zelda memorabilia within arm's reach that getting just like forgotten about. It's like imagine your best friend, you know, it's like, oh man, you're waiting for them to say happy birthday. They go, oh yeah, it's your birthday. Cool, man. Like, how old are you? Oh, you're 30. Cool, yeah. And then you just move
Alan,
on.
really
It's
quick,
like,
speaking from a Nintendo rep, because I am a Nintendo rep now.
what?
Can I
What
interest you?
happened?
Can I interest you in this game, Ace Attorney? Can you want to?
Actually, yeah, I like.
Oh god, I was going for a joke here. Fuck.
No, I got the fucking. I actually got the triple or the whatever the fuck, the 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch.
Stupid pack, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually really good. It's basically kind of a visual novel point and click, but I like the adventure and the mystery and the court cases, so it's a lot of fun.
No, but my thing is just like, you know, after they showed like the Super Smash thing and a couple other things, they're just like, hey, and like they'll even have like this cocky like, we're got some really good things to show you. We're gonna have 3 different like, you know, layers of all these announcements. So the next one, Ace Attorney. It's like, dude, you've been throwing this Ace Attorney and that fucking stupid bird or whatever. Well, actually, it's not even a bird. It's like a fucking, I don't know what the fuck it is. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I actually thought this was a bird on the right side, but it's just another finger pointing. It's like, why the fuck is it pointing? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't blame you thinking that's a bird.
Yeah, because it's Phoenix too, you know. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like the thing is like you guys have been throwing this down my fucking throat for like years now. Like I'm not gonna buy fucking Ace Attorney, and I know people might like this, and I know it's probably legitimately good. But you know, this E3 2021, you're the last day of the E3 super duper fucking nerd pooper spectacular fucking week, and you guys got this shit and fucking. Oh god, what else do they have on there? It was like some Final Fantasy thing, and then like I'm looking at Bandai Namco, and they're re-releasing the fucking Contra collection anniversary that came out in 2019. We're really doing that. We're like, dude, we're doing like reboots of collections. Like I've never thought that it would get this stupid. Reboots of fucking collections, guys. What
The
the
situation
fuck?
where it's a port of a collection. This collection existed on another console, and in all honesty, in past years,
They're like 3 minutes. Like you can just show the logo and be like, okay, it's coming out this time. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like 3 minutes, is like, hey, Contra 1, Contra 2, Super.
oh, you think that's
Contra
bad?
3.
I'll never. The fucking for the Ace Attorney, the Chronicles, the one that's coming out, they legitimately just spoil like plot points in the trailer to explain gameplay mechanics. I
Yeah,
laughed my
like-
ass off. I had to mute it because I'm like, I don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating. Like I could see if it was something crazy like the Tales of Vesperia series, and I don't know what they're just called Speria series or something. I forgot what they're called. But like
They're called
there's-
Tales of series, and they have
There
their
you go,
random
yeah.
names.
Yeah. But like I could see that because each one has its identity, and like who knows what the chronological whatever the fuck is. So like things can't get really spoiled because you're like, oh, what comes before what and when and where.
Yeah.
But like. Yeah, like to show that Contra thing again, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And just like so much other shit like that. Like, I wish I did my research well enough and even like prepped the show good enough. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not the best podcast in the world, but like, there's a lot of things that are released on all the systems already, like all of them, and they're just like, yo, big announcement. You get to play that again. Ooh, like the Life is Strange shit. Fucking hate
Oh, yeah.
Life is Strange. I never played it before. I hate it now. I fucking hate that game. I fucking hate
There,
both.
I mean, honestly, the first one was fine, but I laughed my ass off at that remaster because I'm like, that's a remaster? It literally looked like you just put the brightness down.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It actually doesn't look bad. But you can't. The game is not like a fucking huge, super duper, super dumb, fun game. It's just Life is Strange. What you do? Are you gonna release Heavy Rain again?
Probably.
fuck?
They did. Though they did. They're probably, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't. They put it on PC. I'm surprised they didn't try to put it on fucking Switch or whatever.
But like, I can't have this shit rubbed in my face that much, dude. Like they did that shit with fucking Detroit Become Human, the one where you get to choose whether or not to play the game, or whatever the fuck that shit's called. You know, like I forgot what it was. It was like,
No, I got you.
should I
No,
slap
no,
that
no,
hoe? And then you know,
I think you're thinking of Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, yeah, whatever the whatever like. There's one where you make choices, but like it's all like water the plants or don't water the plants.
Oh, yeah,
How's
where
it
most of
gonna
the choices are bullshit.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck, dude. Like I just
And I think I get what you're getting at, Nick. Like at the end of the day, like if this was another press conference where it's like they had other stuff in between, because like look, at the end of the day, none of these games are particularly bad. It's just the problem is you dedicated so much time, but the big stuff here wasn't that big of a deal. What were every press conference you had to look at? What were the biggest releases? And what was it here? Breath of the Wild 2, the biggest release is Metroid Dread is the biggest thing here. There was nothing else that was released that was like, holy shit, this is a huge title that's coming out this year. It's literally only that. Everything else was either some port or some expansion. It's like, if that's what you have, people are going to judge that a lot harsher. Like, that's why I'm not disagreeing with Nick, even though I want to play the new Ace Attorney. The Life is Strange True Colors looks terrible, but every Life is Strange sequel looks terrible. Like, I'm not mad at that shit, but it's like, I didn't get what I wanted, and I didn't get anything to sate my appetite. Like I walked out there going, that was kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is like waste of time wise. But for me, the only thing I was actually happy about was 'cause I was like, man, I get to ruin Alan's day, making fun of him. You know, Wind Waker's not going to come out, and this thing's not going to come out, and blah blah blah. And I was pretty happy. I didn't think your day would end up getting worse though.
I didn't either. I was mad too because I was gonna make fun of Cedric. I was like, haha, how does it feel that literally Nintendo killed F-Zero in the Smash Direct? But I was just so depressed that I'm like, bro, he can make fun of me he can make fun of me forever about like not getting my fucking Zelda thing, and I can't even be mad at it. But he did it. He was like, yo man, I can't believe he got this shit and they still disrespected him. Like, look, he came out for me, so look, man. Nintendo disrespected the F-Zero franchise because they killed a bunch of villains off and then for no fucking reason kills Captain Falcon. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. And they just murdered him. Like, the disrespect.
Apocalypse, I remember playing Operation Wolf on NES. Yeah, that was the game that apparently Wonder Woman 1984 didn't even know what system it was on. Ha ha. You remember that, Alan, motherfucker?
Yeah, the crux of the movie.
Yeah. No, not the crux. Just
nobody cares.
Just simple paying attention, googling.
Nobody cares.
Really simple. Like, Peggy Jenkins is too busy. I need to make sure these women stand out really well, like needing men and shit. So I can't pay attention to the '80s themed '80s shit.
Wow. Yeah, glad that I'm sorry that ruined the movie for you.
God damn, what a piece of shit.
I am excited for Metroid 5. I am. But again, in the entire Nintendo Direct, name me besides Metroid Dread, what was the biggest title released?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly. Updates to Monster Hunter. I mean, I guess you could count the Mario and the Rabbids, sure, but that's about it. That's the biggest problem is there wasn't anything that was going on. Like, people in the chat, they just did a vote a while ago. Yeah, Xbox had the best one. It was a mix of stuff that was, we already knew, extended versions of stuff that we knew was coming out, and some stuff that was in the future. It was the best one. It was timed perfectly. You had the smallest stuff that no one gave. Like, as much as I, gave Nick so much shit for the Forza stuff, it was perfectly timed. They did a bunch of cool shit and basically ended it off around that time. Did a couple surprises. It was the best conference. Twice in a row, they've had the best conference. Because they understand, look, we can't always have everything going to be new or a surprise. So we're going to space out the new and surprise stuff over the course of the hour. And it's like, it was longer than most of the press conference, and it was the best one. It's like, because they knew how to space out. They knew exactly how to make their time worth it. Like, Capcom shouldn't have bothered to be there. Like, Nintendo is just like, you guys usually do a pretty good job with your Nintendo Directs. You guys invented this shit.
Yeah, but no, my favorite thing though is like, because people were talking about Sony. We got some people like in our chat tag, like, I want to say after hours, but just our private hangout. People that used to be on the show and everything. And one particular person was bringing up Sony and talking about like, hey man, like they haven't done this yet. PS5 ain't good, whatever. And we're Sony, making fun of Sony. And I actually understood where he came from. But the thing is, me and Alan, we actually got a secret screen to say a play that hasn't even come out yet. And it's with Death Stranding 2, and it's right here, starring Tyrese Gibson.
Bro. Oh my god, I
this
can't believe
sequel
connected to Death Stranding. Legitimately, like, I don't know if people could see the fucking timestamp. Minute 1.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know what this fucking movie's about. I'm going to watch it. And minute 1, I almost walked out.
Yeah.
I legit was about to text a guy and doing this. What the fuck is this?
So this right here, guys, is Baby Boy. And first right away, there is something to bring up here where the movie is like, because and this is exactly taken from the scene. You even see some of this actually written down into subtitles here. But it says, and this is like just some narration from I forgot who, but they're like, there's this psychiatrist that says that there's a validity to the concept that black men in America, due to racism, who have not yet fully formed into being a real life person, where are realizing their full potential.
Oh, I know exactly what the fuck the thing was, and I think it was the main character's narrating something here for a psychiatrist who never gets brought up in the movie, but it's like, due to the systemic racism in America, black men never grow past being a boy, being a child. So that's why it's like, oh, what do they call this woman? And it's like, their girlfriend. Oh, they call her mama. What do they call their friends? They call them boys. Like, what do they call their house? The crib. Because systemic racism, they never grow up past being a child. And I'm like, okay, this fucking image is horrifying and I'm going to have nightmares about it, but maybe this is talking about systemic racism and how it stunts the growth of adult black men. This could be interesting. No.
Because that's a weird thing about this too, dude, is like, this fucking movie is talking down to its audience. Like, I'm really shocked at how this movie.
I felt like that with fucking one thing with the teacher. Oh, are you on crack?
Wait, what?
You never seen that movie with The one dude that plays God from Bruce Almighty, he tries to educate the kids, and he fucking brings
Morgan
a bat
Freeman?
to school. Yeah, Morgan Freeman. He brings a bat to school and shit.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, but I don't remember that part though. But like, yeah,
He does. He straight asked the fat dude, like, "Yo, you smoking crack?" Before he lets him back into the school.
Yeah, dude, but that was so fucking weird weird for me, dude, because like, yeah, this movie, and by the way, this movie's been playing on BET for like fucking years, and you know, I know this, and I'm not even someone that leaves BET on unless it's past like 9 at night. I want to watch like a Martin marathon or something. But the thing is, though, is that every time I hear people talk about this movie, I don't really hear a lot of talking shit about it. Like I hear it in this call.
They
sometimes.
fucking should.
Well, like in this call, I hear it. Or like in Double Total community, I hear it. But admittedly, I think a lot of you guys are cynical people that look at movies like you've all been to fucking film school or something. So like, I'm basing like what I hear about this movie just based off like my friends in high school and things like that, because you know it is what it is. But now that I'm actually watching this, I'm just kind of looking at this like, if I was a black dude trying to watch this movie back in the day, I'd be fucking pissed off. Like, why the fuck are you gonna come over here and like say that black men are mama's boys? And the biggest thing there's, you know, they're showing women. I mean, like the 2000s. We talked about this with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and like the Clerks anime series, whatever. The 2000s do not like women. If you're a woman, do not go to the 2000s. You don't belong there apparently.
The further back you go, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so unbelievably offensive. Like, this is the part where Nick goes, "Hey, Alan, why don't you, explain the synopsis of the movie?" I wouldn't even know where to fucking start, honestly, because this movie doesn't really have a plot. It is just basically you're following Tyrese as he continues, as he be the worst human being possible. And the entire thing of like, well, you're following his life as he's doing whatever the fuck he's doing. But the whole idea is, based on the narration, is to just kind of see how this person fucks around with life. But it's not like, based on the narration, you're trying to understand this person's psyche. It's like the movie is actively trying to tell you that what he's doing is, well, that's just what guys do. And what does he do? He consistently cheats on his girlfriend all the fucking time and every single possible opportunity, mooches off everyone around him, calls everyone mama, to the extent where I was legitimately confused because he calls every woman he calls every woman in this movie mama. To the extent where I was like, I don't know. Are you his daughter? Are you his mother? Are you his girlfriend? Because at one point he walks into the bathroom when a girl's showering and goes, make me some food. I'm like, is that? And he called her mom. I'm like, is that your girlfriend? She looks really young. Is that your daughter? If this is your daughter, this is weird. But it took me 30 minutes to really figure out, because he calls everyone that, and it's like this movie just goes off randomly, and he's treating everyone like shit. He has like 4,000 baby mamas. They all know each other, and it's like, at this point, you think, well, maybe the movie's going to have characters that try to tell him he's wrong. It's like, no. The women in the movie be like, oh, they're like accepting of his fucking bullshit, where it's like at one point going, oh, he don't love that. Oh, he loved me. It's like, yeah, but he's going over the fucking there, and you're just dealing with this bullshit.
Yeah, because like we're 10 minutes into the movie, by the way, everything that Alan just said. I mean, like, so far we've had 3 or 4 baby mamas, a girl doing farm work, and still being shown as Veen Rain's piece of ass, 2 sex scenes, black women crying in a dream about their loved ones or sons being killed due to street violence, an absolute fucking mass of women not only being cheated on, but then also taking care of children that the dad doesn't want to be taking care of them, so like the women had to do it, and then also being stupid enough to still want a piece of that I ain't got a job and I like to have kids and cheat on people penis. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like the thing
Sorry. No, you read.
Okay, because the thing is, like, I can defend the movie saying, like, okay, well, that's just these characters, and they just so happen to be in a situation, and the movie isn't trying to talk shit about black people, okay? I can say that. I can defend that, because, sometimes there are characters that fit this, and they just so happen to be black. It's not trying to talk shit about black people. The thing is, though, is that you get moments where we have Tyrese start blowing up white people saying, like, hey, girl, you don't like that, I'm a shitty, parent and boyfriend. Give one of them white boys with briefcases. And it's like, dude, like, why the fuck are you guys, like, in these movies in the 2000s, it was always trying, like, I understand, like, making fun of white people, like, oh, they're nerdy and they're smart and, you fucking nerd. Like, I get that, right? Because, like, no one wants to be that smart where you come across as just, like, a fucking mark or something. But, like, in this movie, they're like, yo, you want someone successful? Date a white guy. It's like, are y'all advertising white people?
No, it's a situation in which, like, the movie's trying to show, systemic. It's not trying to show. It wishes it could. It just has no subtlety. But it's supposed to be the idea that it's like, because of systemic racism around, and the idea that the white male with a job and a briefcase is the ideal standard for people to be, and anything less than that is a failure. But the movie never really goes into that. It just feels like a bunch of random ad-libbing scenes, and it's like this movie is consistently talking down to women. But it's using, like, because, and this isn't me just, looking into it and being overly sensitive social justice warrior. At one point, one of the characters who consists, like, I keep forgetting her name, but she's in every Tyler Perry movie.
Oh, Taraji P. Henson's character. I think her name is Yvette.
Yvette. Yeah, she goes to the main character's mom, and at this point, I'm like, oh, she calls him son. Thank God I can figure out who the fuck's who in this movie.
No, because she's young as fuck and she's pretty. The mom.
She's younger.
So it's like,
the mom is younger than his girlfriend.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But she goes like, "Oh, he's always cheating on me," and she like, I don't know, I don't know if this is just how the 2000s people thought, but she was like, to me, this is just as stereotypical as you can get with the exaggerated movements. But it's like, oh, he's always cheating on me, he's always stealing from me, he's always doing this, he's always doing that. And she goes, "Look, you dated a man. That's just what men do. You just got to get used to it." And it's like, wait, what? You're telling her to consistently be abused by this because she what? Like, why are you justifying your son's actions in this fucking horrible situation?
And that's the thing, like self-deprecating racism, by the way, because that's a big thing that kind of like triggered me just in the first like 30 to an hour in this movie, where it's like self-deprecating racism, in my opinion, whether or not it equates to the real lives of black people, shouldn't be put on a pedestal just because it's there. Like, because they always say that, like, oh, well, that's just the way the hood is. That's why, that's the reason why this happens, and you should just accept it. It's like, no, because I mean, I'm not saying I've been in a black hood, but I've been in a hood before, and I've seen hood life, and it's not as toxic as the shit in this movie. Sometimes it is, but it's like, goddamn, like that can't be. You talking shit about black people, and it's okay because John Singleton wrote it. Like, fuck that. It's not cool. And the thing is, like, I want to bring up some things that I can compare this to. Like, for instance, because I've seen a lot of this. I mean, there's a lot of hood movies from back in the day that everybody kind of likes to talk about nostalgically, etc. But like, I like to bring up Friday and I Got the Hookup, where it shows hood mentality and shows ghetto people, but then also shows a universe building, like in Friday, where every character is very different. There are strong females, there's weak men, there's strong men, and then strong men that have like weaknesses as well. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, the I Got the Hookup movie, which is it's a B movie. It's a really terrible fucking hood movie. they're like selling cell phones and shit, and like that's the whole storyline. But the thing is, like, it has its own universe going on, and that can be offensive at times too. But they also have moments where they don't have that. There's different characters, there's different things going on. But you already discussed the synopsis. I will say the last thing that I really want to bring up as far as synopsis goes is that, Tyrese being in a situation with his girlfriend and shit and being like a complete piece of shit, he's also dealing with a situation where, he has this, not necessarily stepdad yet, but his mom is dating Ving Rhames. And this guy is so fucking swole, by the way, that I would just want to call him Roman Reigns. Like, because this dude, like, look, man, I'm not checking the motherfucker out, but I now have somebody that I want to be like. I want to do steroids. I want to fucking eat my fucking food right, and I'm going to work out. I want Ving Rhames' body. Like, that's something that we should all strive to do. Like, you two, Alan, me and you, let's go on a workout plan. Let's be Ving Rhames, bro.
Let's be Ving Rhames in a better movie.
Okay, yeah.
Because this guy in this movie, oh my God, but it's like, there's so much bad about this movie, and it's like, I don't even know, like, every single thing about this movie from every single, like, the worst part is they're all acting, so I believe they're like this. I was like, when I say this movie's terrible, I'm talking about from a writing perspective. From an acting perspective,
incredible.
I mean, in all honesty, I believed everything that was going on. I'm just like, you're all terrible human beings. Every single person here in this movie has the worst message I've ever seen in my life. But it's like, Tyrese's character, I've literally met people exactly like that. Yeah. Family members exactly like that. So to me, this almost hit a little close to home. It's like, yes, obviously, but like looking at me, it's like I'm Arab, but it's like, I've met people like that, and it's like, so it's like everything they're going, it's like, it is real stuff. But the problem,
chat, by the way, how about Ving Rhames from Pulp Fiction? Want to be that? It's like, no, I'm good, dude. I'm not gonna hold that guy in my mouth for long enough.
You know what? We'll go Ving Rhames from Mission Impossible. Things seem to work out well for him in that series.
I want to bring up something though too, because at a certain point, because I mean, the synopsis, a big part of it, I think, even though it doesn't take a lot of screen time, I do think the thing with him and Ving Rhames is very, very important because it leads to some really good shit at the end. Like for me personally, Ving Rhames is apparently someone who has a history of potentially violent or illegal shit, and it makes Tyrese seemingly like against it because he wants better for his mom. Which, by the way, he does seem to like be a little overly protective of his mom to the point where I'm like, are you fucking jealous of her? Like,
I mean,
or jealous
the
of
movie calls him out for that.
I sexually love my mama.
No. Normally I give
Move out the
Nick
titty,
shit.
I want it.
Normally I give Nick shit for this, but I spent the first 20 minutes of this movie thinking they were like together in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it really didn't change after I realized, oh, that's his mom. But I'm like, is it? He seems really, because he's holding up on her, and I think at one point they almost kiss, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
And I want to compare that part of the movie to fucking Kino Staten Island. So this is another movie that I wanted you to watch. I understand you don't want to watch and everything. It's cool.
Yep.
But there's a part where Marissa May's character, which is the mom to Pete Davidson, her character ends up getting into a relationship with Bill Burr. And Pete Davidson gets pissed off about it, but they actually gave a reason why it made sense. Bill Burr and Pete fight at the beginning of the movie because Pete ends up hurting Bill Burr's fucking kid. And Pete, literally, I mean, they explain it because like they have scenes that literally show them not getting on, not just because they don't like each other, but because of other reasons. Whereas in this movie, Tyrese is just like, I don't like him. He'll fuck my mom. I wish I could fuck my mom. Like, it's like, what the fuck is going on
That
here? Like,
honestly feels like it is because like you think like you think the character like because basically they kind of explain like the last guy that kind of got around got into some shit and got killed, and you're like, oh well, maybe he's just super protective, but like it never comes across like that. It literally comes across like he wants to fuck her, and I'm like, when you spend the first bit of this movie not quite sure who's who, it really, you can't get that out of your head because it feels like it's a majority of the part of this movie. But this movie doesn't feel like it has a point or a plot to it. It feels like a bunch of random scenes that were just ad-libbed together. Like you brought up Friday earlier, and I'm glad you did, because Friday had a point to it. Friday was supposed to be a snapshot in the day of the life of what it was like to be in this neighborhood, and there's a lot of stuff you could take to that, but just this is how people lived, and it all felt very realistic. Like there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm like, wait, did that happen? And people are like, yeah, that stuff kind of happens,
I just want to know what the fuck is up with the early 2000s and 90s films and their whole incest vibes, because this is not the only fucking movie that has that shit. Hell, you even got, like, if you want to push it further back, the 80s with fucking Scarface. A lot of these gangster movies, or even like movies that are quote unquote hood, have either a cousin or a female sister that got like some really like weird vibes that you get from the older sibling or a cousin.
Yeah. No, like Gina, you want to fuck me, Gina? Come on, Tony,
yeah,
fuck me. It's like you just
or friends, man. Dude, there's an entire. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, because like Gina from Scarface. I mean, and we're not gonna do a whole thing about it, but it's like it is funny that like no one ever brings that up. Where it's like, I mean, they bring it up like, haha, it's funny, but like more crazy than her saying fuck me, Tony, because like who knows? Maybe Cubans talk like that. I don't know, but her husband just died. Like literally the love of her fucking life and his best friend.
Yeah.
Like I would be so distraught that even a friend would die. Not to mention my fucking lover. I won't be able to go in a room and say shit like fuck me. And by the way, those guys that were defending him and defending the mansion and shooting people, did they just let her walk upstairs half naked with a fucking gun? Like she ain't gonna kill Tony at all. Like what the fuck?
I think what it was is that she was so in shock and she was so obsessed like with whatever the fuck was going on with it that she was just like she just lost her mind. She just had a psychotic break. But again, you bring up the point. I'll always go to Friends. There's an entire episode where Ross wants to fuck his cousin, and he knows it's his cousin. It's not like this girl's hot. I kind of don't know. It's like no. He's like acting like I know it's wrong, but I want to. I'm like, yeah, there's a problem. There's a reason step sibling porn is extremely popular nowadays.
Yeah. But Tyrese, though, is shown that he's been fucking around, but him and his girl end up having a pretty interesting fight. Like, she calls him out for a bunch of shit, asks to smell his dick, which, by the way, I've never had that happen to me, but, like, it has to be something.
Smell your dick.
Thank you.
That was
but
so
the thing is, though,
weird.
it's like, I feel like, you must be fucking with some really stink pussy if, like, that smell stinks all fucking day. Like, how the fuck are you going to walk around sweating, being on the city bus, probably farting a little bit when people can't hear you, and then she's going to smell vagina still on her dick? Like, what? Like, I've never seen that happen.
Bro, I don't know, but it's just like, yeah, it's trying to showcase how, like, even if that's not true, it's trying to showcase, oh, look how crazy she is. And it's like, are you trying to tell me that this woman is wrong when this guy consistently lies to her and cheats to her? Like, she's like in a situation where it's like, look, she's sticking with this guy for no real reason. She has a job, she has an apartment that she pays. Like, she supports this guy. So I'm like, there's no real reason for her to stay. It's not like an abused housewife where it's like, oh, he pays for everything. This guy does literally nothing.
Right back.
So the fact that she's sticking with him is completely ridiculous, completely moronic. But it's also the fact that the movie's trying to showcase that she's in the wrong for consistently giving him shit. Because the movie consistently... And there's another male character, I can't remember his goddamn name for the life of me, but his buddy, who's just as bad, if not worse, who treats his girl and his girl's mom like shit, consistently going, oh, I'm sorry, man, fuck you. I can't believe I can't eat in here, can't drink without people giving me shit raw. Just like slamming shit and smashing shit. And it's like, everyone in this movie, it's like, everyone acts, again, they act like children. But there doesn't feel like a real point to it. Because again, you go to something like Friday showcases that it's like, it's tough to live like this, and it's tough to live on the right side of the law when you're dealing with those kinds of situations. Because like at one point, like their block gets shot up, and Ice Cube wants to go, shoot somebody. And his dad's like, no, you can't do this. And there's a great, bonding moment with this. It's like there's no lesson, there's no morals. If you learn anything from this movie, you're a terrible person.
Well, one thing to bring out really quick, because I guess I'll just finish what I was saying earlier, but like they have a big thing where she's smelling his dick and she's like all mad and she's accusing him of a bunch of shit, right? And basically he gets into, they almost get into a physical violence or altercation type situation, but then like this fight, which is it's outside, they're yelling at each other and shit, but then it turns to sex, and I gotta say I hate sex scenes typically.
That was terrible.
But this one was actually as intense as the softcore porn scene can actually go, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm giving respect to that sex scene. I'm sorry.
Nick, I will punch you in the dick.
What?
Right in the
what? No, like that fight scene. Fight scene. Jesus Christ!
Are you about to tell me that this has as much choreography as that Jason Takes Manhattan down?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
it makes as much sense too. No, that was the dumbest thing I ever saw in my life. They just go from arguing to the worst jump cut I've ever seen. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, that's how relationships work. I'm Ganja. If you want to, you can come in and defend this, but I'm just telling you, fights like that turn to sex, and I gotta tell you that.
Bro, they like teleport from the.
You'll be surprised how many weird situations turn to sex, sir.
Passion is a motherfucker, man.
I hate you both so goddamn.
I'm sorry, Alan, but it's like I feel like with all the shit wrong with this fucking movie, it's like okay, you did that right, and
no, you didn't.
The sex itself, I do say it was pretty good sex. I hate sex in movies because it's either too long or too short. This minute and a half made sense. Lots of fades, lots of quick fucking getting out of the way. Enough there for someone like if I was like a 12-year-old, like I just wanted to see some fucking sex movie, I would have fucking.
You're fucking with me, right?
No,
No, he's not fucking with you. I get where he's coming from on this one.
Shut the hell up, you.
Never.
No, like for real, because like you'll see, like for instance, like you'll see some like really fake ass, like, and I know this is gonna sound racist, but like sometimes you get like these white girls that get on top of dudes like, well, this shit was like funky, like that.
It was a comedy.
Like I honestly, I feel like I could smell the room. Like they were both sweating and shit. That's how sex is, bro. A fucking bed that keeps creaking.
Bro, you heard the pterodactyl.
Bro, no, this entire scene was terrible. It was comedic. I was laughing through most of it, going, "This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life." Some of the worst dialogue before, during, and after. I'm like, "Oh, fucking let this be over for fuck's sake."
I mean, it is what it is. But the thing is, though, so like that happens, and I was like, okay, like honestly, the way the sex was done, and I'm, you know, like it's not like something where they're showing like these models and like you see like from behind them or something. They're like face to face. It's really Tyrese and that girl acting, and like, dude, like y'all passionately got into it, just as passionate as argument was, and I was like, this actually fits. It's edited together in a certain way where it's like finally a sex scene actually makes sense for the fucking story. In horror movies, it makes no sense. I don't like in Jason movies. I don't like in Freddy movies. I hate it. And here, it actually fucking made sense. And I was so happy about that. And then it's like... So this is why I was telling you that this review is going to be fun. Because... And I'm speaking from the bottom of my fucking heart, by the way. But halfway through this movie... It starts kind of getting kind of okay.
I will kill you.
Tyrese's friend starts talking about Christianity and shit, and Tyrese's girl.
For no fucking reason. He just discovered.
That's how
Christ.
It works, brother. Like Ganja, once again, Ganja, you're from the streets.
I'm preached by a lot of fucking wannabe street preachers.
Yes. People literally.
They're always passing the blunt though, so it's never like a real like sermon, but you get where they're coming from. And
also too, Alan, when you live in this particular type of community. People will start literally nicknaming themselves off of their fucking like conventional center fucking numbers. Like people are crazy. So the fact that this guy has seen some shit on the street and everything too, and he's always like surrounded by fucking heat and everything, of course it's gonna be like, you know what, man, I want to get saved. And the fact that he was like, hey, I'm gonna start talking crazy and start talking about like I need to get saved by Jesus. I'm also gonna shoo these kids away because even though they look up to me, still I gotta make sure to hide the fact that I might be starting to think with my fucking heart and I might actually start believing in God.
It literally comes out of nowhere and then gets brought up once more, and then that's it. Like, I cannot believe you saying it going, oh, this gets better. No, this movie consistently got worse as it went along. And then when Snoop Dogg shows up, it gets some of the worst shit. I legitimately almost stopped the movie several times when Snoop Dogg gets introduced in the fucking movie because it just immediately keeps getting worse and worse with every subsequent fucking scene. Like, his buddy is one of the worst characters in the movie. Him discovering some sort of fucking religious bullshit ends up just being random as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what he thinks. I mean, we're just agreeing because I'm pretty sure people are going to agree with you big time. So I'm not even trying to make you look crazy or anything. It's just like, yeah, you know, here's what it is. It's just these things are kind of true to life for me and my own experiences and my real life situations. I'm like, okay, they actually put that in here. That's pretty cool. Like, no problem, Georgia Cat. Hopefully you have some good times over there. But if they take too long talking about emails and he drank last night and then took a shit, come back over here. We're actually talking about some things. No offense to Double Toast or anything, but it's like, goddamn, like. I was editing the show earlier, and it was an hour and 10 minutes, and then like, and then I drank, and then I turned the computer on, and it turned on. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, anyways, but Tyrese's right-hand man, you know, like, there's so much things going on, because like that's the biggest thing about the middle of this movie, is that I can feel seeds being planted here that can lead into a couple of cool things that can happen at the end. You know, Tyrese has dudes selling clothes for him. Snoop's learning about how Tyrese lives with this fucking mom. So he's like, he's knowing too much. Where's that going to lead to? Is Snoop going to go to his fucking house? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shit that's going on. But by saying that saying that I'm not into it, but yet saying that I could be potentially getting into it, I think that is actually a pretty cool thing because now I feel like there's a potential. And even though the beginning of the fucking movie is so bad, it's like, okay, well, you got to plant some kind of seed here to make me feel like we're going to get somewhere better. Tyrese and his girl get into another fight. And this time the passion does absolutely lead to some violence. And unlike last time, it leads so much into fighting that he literally just fucking whacks her one. And then he literally eats her pussy after punching her in the face.
Uh-huh. And this is the point where I was like, I was like, I paused the movie. I'm not doing this. I'm not saying this is bullshit anymore. And then I remembered somebody paid for us to watch this. So fuck you, Chris. You fucking make me sit through this bullshit. Why can't anyone fucking make me watch good movies, for God's sakes?
And by the way, guys, all fucking transparency out there. I'm going off of bullet points right now to remember parts of the movie because I'm not doing scene by scene, but I literally have shit written down here. And I had to like go back and watch that part because I'm like, wait, did he really go down on her and she just lay there? And then in the middle of it, actually, Alan, you tell them what happened.
The best part. So she's crying and she goes, yada yada, and being upset.
I mean,
so he starts taking her pants off,
and she's been hating the. I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, but he takes her pants off, everything goes down on her, and literally starts having flashbacks to a funeral. And to the start of the movie, because I guess at one point someone close to them died. So she's just crying at a funeral, going back. I'm like, oh, she's going through a PTSD break because, she just got hit by her boyfriend and now is being sexually assaulted. Great fucking movie.
Yeah. No, it's fucking, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, but here's the thing. Before eating her pussy, he did punch her. And that should be a big moment too. The thing is, though, is like, I feel like maybe this, because I mean they had balls, like it was very unapologetic, potentially realistic perception of how some relationships can go. I feel like, hey, you know what? I'll give you points somewhat for that. Not saying that this seems good, not saying that I want to see that shit, but I will say it's like, okay, you know what? That man, like you didn't give a fuck what the studio, because I know the studio didn't go, hey, definitely do that shit, like rape eater, like or whatever the fuck, like. John Singleton literally wrote that in and was like, no, we're fucking doing this. And I was like, dude, you know what? I appreciate that. I'll give you credit for the balls. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, well, like in this situation, let's bring up something else here. She punched him in the mouth, socked him in the jaw, hit him in the back of the head, hit him in the back of the back, all this shit. And he goes like, hey, moves his hand, slaps her, or hits her with the back of his knuckle or something. And she's like, oh, you hit me. And I'm kind of like, all right. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel because either there's so many options we can go here. Tyrese is either a fucking terrible human being who's going to get his comeuppance at the end because he literally kind of like just raped his girlfriend.
Yep.
Or maybe like they love each other so much and that's what they're trying to convey here and I'm just not reading it the right way because we're in 2021 where we have more of a fucking way to like think about certain things. Or it's like, maybe it's okay and he's a good guy because he was being punched a bunch of times and it's like, why was she so shocked that he fucking hit her? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm totally not for hitting women. But don't fucking hit me either, dude. I mean,
I get that, but there's clearly a strength difference between the two. So it's like, even if his was accidental,
gym, bitch? Like what the fuck? Like,
obviously she's not. I'm not saying she was in the right. Like she has the right to do so, but it's like it's a societal thing. But at the end of the day, there is especially with what you're seeing on screen, there's a major strength difference. So it's like a small hit for him, which wouldn't seem, we think, oh, that might be equal. But it's like, look, at the end of the day, especially when it comes to a domestic thing, it's never really going to be equal. Both of them were at fault, but it's like, it's not like, oh, who's more or whatever the fuck. It's like, both of them are terrible human beings. But what the movie's trying to showcase is that she's absolutely crazy and he's the good guy. Like, that's what makes me mad.
Essentially, what the movie's trying to say is that the baby boy servers are very, like, unbalanced. They should patch that.
Fuck. They do. They get a worse fucking person to show up in the movie to make the rest of the characters look good by comparison.
Yeah, because and here's the thing too is like the worst part about the eating out scene, just to put that out there, is that I guess the movie is trying to see that she, eventually got into it, I guess, or that's what they're trying to say, because her love for him made her accept that, being eaten out and being punched is the thing that she's been through a ton of shit before anyways, so this is not as big of a deal, and then these crazy flashbacks of her brother, or his brother dying, and flash forwards of maybe Tyrese might die, it's like, okay, is this movie trying to tell me, hey, this is our red flag. Tyrese will definitely die. So, even though you might hate him for doing this to his girl, and we're seeing this on screen right now, you might actually be like, hey, you know what? I still don't want him to die. Like, I also care about him too because we've been with him this whole movie. Like, I don't know. That's what I felt. I could be wrong.
Maybe the movie was hoping that, but to me, I was like, oh, good, he's gonna die. Thank God.
Yeah, but as Alan says, Snoop Dogg's character gets out of jail finally, rolls up into Yvette's house, sleeps on her couch, and within one sentence explains it all with, P.O. said this is my home because this is where I lived before. You used to write me, so now it makes sense for me to be here. And it's like, wow, like, okay. I mean, I appreciate the movie not having to explain all that shit and make me have to go through all these boring fucking, like, because Snoop Dogg's a terrible actor, by the way.
Oh hell yeah. I don't think he's ever fucking been in anything. I'm like, oh, he's good. Except for that 5 minutes of training day, but he had like 3 words.
Yeah, he's like, man, my motherfucking legs. It's motherfucking crack. Yeah, he's like, okay, thank you, Snoop. Wow, the artistic stylings of one Snoop Dogg. But the thing is, though, it's like, I mean, he's the worst roommate ever, too, stealing money from her. He tries to rape her in front of his fucking son, or in front of Tyrese's son. It's not even Snoop Dogg's son.
Hey, trust me, he makes it explicitly clear. He's just like, hey, I won't be your... Get this kid out of here. I won't be his dad. At one point, the kid's watching cartoons. He's like, oh, he built a fort here? Kicks it. I kind of chuckle. I'm like, wow, you're just like cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, like, it's like some WWE evil, like, and by the way, I hate this city's football team. Yeah.
Like, it's nice to just fucking turn the TV off or some shit, too. Like,
I know.
Little shit to that kid for no reason.
He should just spin his cereal, too, like, fuck kicks.
Oh my god! It's just like we need you to be the worst asshole in the world right now. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna kick this kid's fucking fork.
He's gonna eat all the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms, so the kid opens up like, "What the hell?" He's like, "I love marshmallows, you little motherfucker."
And then pour it on his head. Pick it up. By the way, if you think we're over exaggerating, watch that scene. It is like cartoonishly.
He literally goes, "Yeah, I like how you got the little fork going on, little boy. Thank you. It's my like, shut your fuck up." And just kicks the pillows out.
It's only funny because it's just like this movie's trying to be serious and it just does the dumbest things for no reason.
Oh, that shit was great. But yeah, and another weird thing around this moment too, cause she's going through, Yvette's going through a lot of shit where she's like, "Hey, baby boy, but man, that dick, holy shit, I love him." Mm-hmm. So the thing is, cause that's all women care about apparently in this movie. 2000s, it's either suck dick or you don't exist
or weed.
So, yeah, that too. Look at me, I'm cool like the boys. I'm smoking weed. But no, so the thing is, though, is that Yvette talks to her friend on the phone who also has an asshole boyfriend because all women have to have asshole boyfriends. Once again, guys, I mentioned 2000s. Mm-hmm. And, the boyfriend on the other end is like, "Bitch, get on this dick. How dare you breathe out your mouth with no pee-pee in it, whatever the fuck." And he bangs her on the phone, and it's like, dude, like that's the part where they could have taken it out. The only reason I'm bringing that up right now is because, like, yeah, maybe somebody probably wanted to see that, and hey, who knows? Maybe it's sexy to somebody. But the thing is, though, it's like, that's a needless sex scene. The thing earlier about the girl getting fucked and she has like the flashback stuff or all this passion, that makes sense. But now it's like, hey, you girl, you got butt crack? Let me and like, dude, like, you're wasting my fucking time. You could have done more Snoop Dogg stuff. Let's hear some dialogue, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, because he is a villain. We gotta have more dialogue with him. But no, we gotta watch someone just fuck. That was stupid.
That's all that is. And you missed the part where that relationship she is an abusive one as well. Where she's like, "I can't believe you're with the main character of this movie. You should leave him." It's like, "Well, didn't you get your ass beat too?" "Oh, no, it's fine." And it's like, it shows her having a black eye. It's like, it's like, yeah, every male character in this movie is supposed to be quote unquote a child that doesn't want to grow up. So they just do whatever the fuck comes to their mind. They're impulsive and selfish. But remember, it's the problems of the world, and women just have to put up with it. It's like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. But this is where we are definitely probably going to have a disagreement because this is where like this movie earned like a point and a half, like a full point and a half. Shocked the fuck out of me. Firstly, that the Ving Rhames situation finally comes to a head where I think that, this shows how great of an actor both Tyrese and Ving Rhames can be. Because swole-ass Rhames, which once again, Roman Reigns for the rest of his fucking review, he gets outed for trying to plant cannabis in the yard where like the mom's fucking like planting tomatoes and shit.
Sure.
And this turns into a huge fight because Tyrese is like, "I told you, he fucking wants to be successful, make money in the hood, that motherfucker." And they're like, like fighting each other and shit. And the thing is, like, right away, the mom takes the side of Ving Rhames. And this same storyline happened in King of Staten Island. Not to bring it back up again, but like when it happens in that movie, it's like almost comedic as well as the fact that it's kind of like, hey, like, dude, I have faith in you. If I let you stay here, I don't fucking have faith in you. And you need to go because you're not only ruining this relationship, but you're ruining your own relationship with me. Like, we're becoming like a mom and son that fucking hate each other. You need to go. In this movie, I do think that it kind of sucked that just right away it's like, man, mom, you can't trust him, baby. And then a fight happens. I was like, okay, probably could have done more there. But Rames just starts fucking crying. He fucking hits him. We've been building up to this moment the entire movie, guys, and he just finally just fucking hits him with the haymaker. And there's a lot of commotion, and it looks like there's lots of fighting, but there really isn't. But the crying and the screaming and fucking Tyrese like being like this very weakened, inferior guy to this fucking stepdad just came home and just because Ving Rhames has been walking around naked, fucking his mom to different music and blah 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 all this shit. So Baby Boy's been like the Charlie Brown of this fucking thing. Tyrese just been going through it. And to see even Ving Rhames, who's like, I'm trying my best to be cool and fucking like not kill you, and you're bringing outside of me, I did not want to bring out, and I'm ready to fuck you up. I'm gonna leave. Like Rhames is about to leave. And Tyrese, I know I'll leave. And it's like, okay, is this a part of y'all saying that like you both know that you're wrong? So for the betterment of the mom, you both want to go because you have this loyalty thing? Like I don't like. What did you think of that whole scene?
Tyrese, you're an asshole that ruins every single relationship that you're even within the vicinity of. And honestly, if you got shot right now, I would clap.
Man, that's low rough.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say you go, well, let me look at the subtlety. It's like, no, he was a mama's boy that doesn't want anyone to deal with his mom for either. He just doesn't want anyone else to be there or he wants to fuck her. We're not quite sure. Ving Rhames is trying his best throughout the entire movie to be a somewhat decent person, but is dealing with Tyrese's bullshit. So when he punched him in the face, I'm like, oh, thank God. Did he kill him? Is he dead? No, he's still alive. God damn it. And it's like, you're ruining this relationship. Like, fucking leave. Everywhere you go, I hate you.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing. Is just kind of like, yeah, like, well, how dare you plant cannabis? It's like, don't you smoke weed? And aren't you like stealing clothes to sell them? Like, what?
Which goes nowhere, by the way.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like, once again, if you're in the hood, you would know that no one takes.
Should just bro that fucking weed.
Yeah, like. You could just ask your neighbor, hey, dude, look, I'll share like 10%, but can you help me grow my weed here because my mom's going to be bitching? It's like that's how normal weed is in these particular communities because it's not like the only thing to worry about is the cops. And I honestly, cops like in really nice areas, they'll fuck with you if you have weed, but like in ghetto areas that they're trying to convey here, cops don't even give a shit. They'll just be like, hey, just try not to hurt anybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Who gives a fuck? So it's like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of silly.
Don't make our day rougher.
Exactly. We don't want to do the paperwork for some fucking $20 worth of fucking weed that we could just pull out of the ground and fucking shit up. Like, leave us fuck alone. But anyways, aside from that, they gave us a false ending where, dude, my heart stopped. And I know that you're like, oh, kill Tyrese, whatever. But, like, for me, even if they did kill him, I was like, okay, I know John Singleton likes to do this with his gangster movies and shit. So I was like, okay, like, he's fucking totally dead. And they show bullet holes and everything. And then
the worst death I have ever seen in my life. For people that are wondering how bad this is, do you know that clip that Corey kept showing about that Turkish movie where the dude just keeps getting shot going, oh! It is that level of comedy. I'll try my best to fucking describe Tyrese's face. It was a mix between him crying and kind of laughing, going, I fucking died. I had to rewind that like 4 times because he died.
Oh,
it's so fucking like I'm just dying. It's so bad.
It was fucking terrible. But it's funny. But then it's also like, okay, like storyline wise, like we're starting to see him kind of come back a little bit. I'm starting to love Yvette personally. I actually really do. Like
what?
Yvette. Yeah, that affected me, dude. Like seriously, my fucking heart stopped. I was like, oh, dude, that fucking sucks. Like he's gonna die.
I can't believe this movie became. You just had Stockholm syndrome because this movie never won me in any way. I was not starting to like it.
The movie started talking to me about funerals and then ate my pussy, so I was like into it after a while.
Like seriously, like was it paying your bills too? Because like legitimately, no characters grew on me at all. Every character I hated at every single point, and as it kept going, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and stupider and stupider and stupider. Like there's only one time that I felt something, and that was after Snoop Dogg, almost rapes Yvette. And she goes and she's crying. They're holding. I'm like, oh, that was a genuine moment. I'm like, okay, I like they convey genuine emotion. I'm like, oh, that feels really upset. And it kicks off a little bit, but that was it. Like afterwards, I'm like, I still hate these characters because the ending of this movie is fucking terrible.
Yeah, when we finally get Tyrese and his friend getting revenge on Snoop, by the way, y'all, because obviously he's gonna get his revenge. So like, yeah, shoot him on the sidewalk. I was like, okay, cool. They got his ass. We're done. It's the same old gangster movie bullshit, but Tyrese's reaction really did work well, I think, within the universe because this guy who got jumped by a bunch of young punk-ass teens earlier and got his ass kicked by his stepdad and all this other shit, he literally lets go of all that macho gangsta toxicity, that masculine shit, and just breaks down, calling himself a coward in his room and shit. And yeah, it's just because like at the end of the day, as a person, he isn't capable of living in this kind of life. Like I mean, that's kind of what they're trying to get through this entire thing. And I think that like that's kind of like the reason why he doesn't like Ving Rhames the character. So when he's in his room crying and shit, Rhames comes into the room, sees him crying on the floor with a gun, and with no cheesy dialogue or cheesy music or any kind of bullshit, he just grabs the gun, wipes it, gives it back, leaves the room, and then it's pretty much like he was saying like, see, that's what it's like to be me, and you're no longer a baby boy. And for me, I was like, now that's a wrap up. Like, that's how you fucking do it right there, dog. Like,
are you on crack?
No, like I mean, dude, like that's literally what happens at the end.
I know, but that was all of like you. I'm just so confused because like I'm watching the scene and it's like so they get the revenge. And
I'll tell you this much, just to give you an example, and then because I can tell like you're trying to find the perfect way to say it, so find your way to do it, and then interrupt me when you want. But like for me personally, it's like if Avengers did this or something like that, I'd be like, wah, just tell him I love you 3000, and be a long fucking thing with the credits. Then we gotta go to funeral. Then we gotta go to the post-funeral fucking picnic. Then we gotta look at pictures of Tony Stark. Then we gotta jack off like. It'd be a whole long fucking super duper. It'd be like that funeral that you want in real life with the fucking arrows and shit. It's like, all right, he's dead.
Right.
Let's chill the fuck out.
Well, what I wanted something that was better is because it's like after they deal with the situation where they kill Zuda and get their revenge, he starts to kind of break down because he doesn't realize what's going on. And this scene where Ving Rhames comes in, I'm like, oh, they're gonna have something like with Friday where he tries to explain to him this life. He just takes the gun away and fucks off, and then the movie just goes to happy-go-lucky.
Nothing needs to be said. It's like
yes, there is. There's a lot that needs to be said, and absolutely none of it gets said. And I'm just like. So what the fuck was that? He just comes in and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an emotional bonding scene. Even if he just sat with him, like maybe he throws the gun away and sits with him for a couple minutes, that would have been cool. He just kind of fucks right off, and then the movie goes happy-go-lucky as we go to picnics and everything's perfectly fine because murder solves everything apparently.
Well, no, but it doesn't, because that's the whole point. Is that he was like upset, like man, like I am now fucking fucked up inside because I saw Snoop Dogg die and I love his music. You know
but he goes to a picnic and he's with Yvette and his kid and he's happy and everything's good and the cops never get involved because I guess nobody likes Snoop Dogg. like it's all those things where it's like I the reason it's not like I couldn't find the right words. It's just like you tear apart movies so much for so little, and I'm like, look at this. Like, everything about this is bad. So the fact that you're getting something out of this, I'm like, I can't comprehend it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll wrap it up. Just with the unapologetic treatment of women mixed with the honesty of how fucked up some of these relationships can be, because it is like that in real life, guys. It's just the way it is. And also, like, while showing our main character be like the biggest, most evil piece of shit at times, but then also be weakened by legitimate love, with also the facade of being a badass and loveless, while also being a pussy. Like, it's just like, dude, like these are hard things to juggle. What's the word? Juggle.
Juggles.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it didn't beat us over the head with anything, like, there's some engaging in the hub mentality stuff, but, like, it's not like, John Singleton can overdo it sometimes. He didn't overdo certain things here. I do think the rape shit was a little fucking like, okay, goddamn. But yeah, I just think that, yeah, being, our main character, by the way, just being a pussy and still being able to, like, overcome it all, like, I think that was pretty cool and, like, made sense for the universe. And yeah, just not enough to beat us over the head with anything. So yeah, I'm trying to find a way to not say what I want to say. But 3 out of 5, man.
What?
I'm sorry.
I'm never. No. I'm sorry. I'm never respecting your opinion again. Fuck you. Like,
come on, man. What the fuck?
No, you gave this a 3 out of 5. What?
It's not average.
You're right. It's worse. It's below average and boring. It's terrible. Every single thing about this movie, from start to fucking finish, is fucking terrible. The fact that you gave this anything more than a 0, it blows my goddamn mind. Every single person in this fucking movie is a horrible, horrible character. There's no semblance of a plot. It just jumps from scene to scene. Characters get random development out of nowhere that also goes fucking nowhere. The movie doesn't understand what a climax is, so it just has random moments that might be a climax and just goes on to another scene. It feels like we got an entire season of a random television show and shrunk it down to a 2-hour and 10-minute movie. There's not a single thing about this movie that I enjoyed. There's not a single thing about this movie that is redeemable. There are so many parts of this movie that if you had better writing and better directing, you might have been able to make it something more than it is. But it is nothing. Everything in this movie is offensive from start to fucking finish. Every woman is just after sex and doesn't care about being abused. Every single other person is justifying the abusing. All the guys act like they're the fucking gods amongst men. And it just ends in the stupidest. Well, I guess murder solves everything as we sit down and enjoy a picnic at a park because I am now a man after killing a man.
So, but where's that energy with all this shit that has like fucking, choreography scenes where they killing people? And it's like, yeah, murder solves everything. It's like you don't feel that there at all.
Again, a lot of times in those movies, they're criminals fighting criminals, and murder for the most part doesn't solve their
So how
problems.
about
In
Superman
fact,
when he kills all those people?
it didn't. In fact, it caused.
Fall.
Yeah, in fact, it caused him a lot of problems. Nobody trusted him, and he dies in the next movie.
Yeah. By the way, Mauricio, yes, he would like Four Brothers because Mark Wahlberg's in it.
Not really. Honestly, out of all the Mark Wahlberg movies I enjoy, it's like 2 of them. I honestly don't think I like Mark Wahlberg. I think I just like 1 or 2 movies.
But I'm sorry, interrupted you. I just want to be a dick, whatever. But yeah, like, what would you rate this? And still say whatever else you want to say if there is more, because I feel bad for liking this. I do,
You
like,
should.
legitimately. But like,
And fuck you for making that poll. Bad movie. Okay, I didn't see bad movie. Like bad. It should be fucking like I saw a bunch of whatevers, but like honestly, I hated every second of this movie. It started off, and I had some hope that maybe it was so bad it's good, but it's one of those things where when I was watching Fallen Kingdom and I was consistently being insulted and offended, or no, Kick-Ass 2 is a better example. When your movie's message is that women ain't shit. Or something along those lines.
But that's a good song, so it's okay. Yeah.
It's like when that's your message of your movie, I'm mad at your movie and I'm offended, like deeply fucking offended. That by the end of it, I'm not giving it. This is a 0. This is the lowest score possible to give it. Because
fucking serious?
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna
fuck?
I'm not gonna sit by. There's not a single point in the movie I'm like, oh, that was kind of redeemable. It's like, no, every person in this movie is a terrible person. This movie's entire message is that women should just put up with abusive people because what else are they gonna fucking do? It's like. It's terrible for I cannot imagine any young person watching this, young man or young woman watching this in the fucking 2000s going, is this how we're supposed to act? Because there are people that I know that probably think that that's how you're supposed to treat women, and it is like dangerous that this movie even existed.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty shocked that this is a 0. We've seen way worse, man.
I've seen way worse, but there's bad, then there's you pissed me off offensive bad. Like a fucking Jay and Silent Bob was bad. But I would rather watch Jay and Silent Bob twice than this once more.
How the fuck? Oh,
and that movie's an hour and a half, so...
Yo, schmookins, you want to suck on my schmookins?
Smoochy boochies, Diaz, yeah!
Yeah, and
hey,
then
Silent Bob, you want to fuck me?
Yeah.
I hate gay people. Fuck you. Suck my
and
dick.
the woman tells him to
asshole.
fuck off. And all the women call him an idiot and an asshole. There's only one woman that can put up with this shit.
The girl does that in Baby Boy. Did you miss those scenes? There's a bunch of girls that's like, man, fuck this N-word, this, that, and the other. He's a motherfucking motherfucker.
Yeah, but then there's other people that are like, oh, it's okay. He's just a man. You're supposed to deal with that shit.
That's what they
Did you forget that?
No, because the guy actually gets the girl at the end of Silent on Bob, and there is no point where like, there's a reason.
Yeah, but she fucks off to jail for whoever knows how long.
And she still comes back, and Jay's like, hey, I might fuck a couple broads while you win the jail thing, you stupid bitch. I love you, Jay. Like,
I never said Jay and Silent Bob was a good movie. I gave that a 1.
It's way more disrespectful. The only thing it didn't do is it didn't rape anybody.
Oh, wow. Again, I'm not saying the movie's good. It's bad, but I'd rather watch... If I gun to my head and I couldn't choose the bullet, I'll go with the fucking one that's slightly less offensive.
I get you. No, I understand. I'm just fucking with you. But for me personally, it's like... Jay and Silent Bob does not hold a fucking candle to this movie at all. Not even fucking close. And I actually...
It's 30 minutes shorter, so you save more time.
I guess. People with that say, Chris, thank you for the bit bounty there, buddy.
Fuck you. I'll never forgive you for this. And you should know that, because I never forgave Aaron for making me watch Rent.
Yeah, but I honestly, I really hope you don't think of my opinion lesser, because I gotta tell you, dude, like...
Bro, between this and Wonder Woman, man, what the fuck?
Wonder Woman, a brother, like, that movie fucking blows ass. Like, I can't believe...
No, sorry, it wasn't Wonder Woman, it was Earwig and the Worm, or whatever the fuck that movie's called.
Earwig and the Witch, god damn it,
I
Alan.
don't care.
What
Between
mood
those
were
two
you
movies...
in that day? That movie's so... That's not even... Dude, that movie's not even worth...
That movie literally has no plot, and 60% of the runtime is to make one spell.
Alan, it has a plot.
Does it? Does it really?
Yes.
Or is
She's
it
stuck at
pretend
the fucking house. She's stuck at the fucking house.
Well, that's not a plot. That's a premise.
Well, I was gonna tell you the rest of it. But it's okay. Yes, dude. There's a whole fucking there's a whole story that they got the movie from. They didn't just come up with the fucking movie like it's based on something.
Again, you only like that because of the animation. You're a sucker for animation.
Oh, fuck me. I like things that look good and take lots of artistic
integrity to do.
It looks
It
beautiful.
did look good. You just have
Not
this thing.
good, beautiful. You say the right shit. It looks beautiful.
It looks terrible. The only reason you gave it a decent score is because you don't know enough. You feel personally, not saying me judging you. You feel personally you don't know enough about animation, so you don't harshly judge animation because you feel like there's not enough you know.
Well, no, you're probably right there. But on that note, I will say that, like, no, dude, like, I don't know animation, but I know it looks good. Like, this might have been really easy to pull off. I'm gonna be honest. I wish Joe was here, but it's like this could be a thing where.
By the way,
like,
that scene is never in the movie.
yes, it is. So you didn't pay attention.
But no, that fucking exact bullshit where she's on stage with her mom because her mom shows up twice in that fucking movie.
No,
once at the start and once at the end.
No, she looks into the fucking wall, dude, and then she has like a dream thing. She's in there. Like that literally happens. Like that happens, Alan.
No, it doesn't. I remember that shit.
Alan.
Uh,
Baby doll.
Your
what's wrong
baby
with
doll,
you?
fuck you.
What is wrong with you? Man, Jet! Why are you not here today? God damn it.
Please, because I know for a fact you hate this movie. Please talk some sense
I
into your
don't fucking hate
boyfriend.
this movie. Me and Jet were watching this. I was having a good time.
I know Jet hates this movie. She said she hated it.
No, she didn't say she hated it. She was like, it's whatever. You know.
Oh bullshit! No, there's no way Jet sat through this movie and said whatever. Like I know Jet, even if Jet never said that, I know Jet well enough. I thought you would, based on how much the women get treated like shit, that maybe you'd be on my side for once. Nah, you're giving this above average. Fuck you, dude.
I'm sorry, but yeah. I mean, hey, if they took out the rape, it would have been a 4. I love myself sometimes. Anyways, guys, well, it's time for us to get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Kirk. See, I didn't even like it. See, so I'm right.
You gave it a 3 out of 5.
That's a good rating, yeah. But anyways, hey, Alan, tell us where to find you on that that collective of
I'll
peoples.
kill you.
Sorry.
Well, I do my other review of the same movie. I'm never gonna think about this movie ever again. But yeah. Basically, the movie was going to send all the information. Follow me on Facebook. You get notification for all the stuff for Illuminati. We are recording the Illuminati show I do with Ganja came out yesterday. Conversation came out today. We are doing an arcade episode. It's going to be at a different time this week, but it will be out this week. I'm also doing a recording for E3 with Justin. So anything that we don't cover here, we'll go into more detail in both those places. So if you get sick of me talking about E3, then do whatever. But if you want to hear me talk about it more, then follow me on Facebook.
Oh, with that said, guys, time for us to get the fuck out of here. Peace out. Stay toasty. Attack the chat. You guys know where to watch us when we do this stuff again. We'll be back here tomorrow for the week's roast and toast. We have 7:45. See. I don't want to talk like that. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing more fucking Big Down reviews. We're going to be doing Clone High and maybe one more thing. I don't know what that is. We're going to find out, okay? But yeah, bye-bye. See ya. Get the fuck go. Get out of here.
I'll never forgive you for this, Chris.
A-Boy's great. A-Boy's a wonderful film.
No, it's not.
Delete
It's fucking terrible.
delete the rape scenes. Edit it, then watch it.
And all the dialogue. Watch it on mute.
Yeah, keep making it better. Thank you, Alan. Yes, the movie's going to be... By the time you're done editing this movie, being something else, it'd be a perfect movie.
This is a great 5-minute short.
I mean, editing Terminator 2 stuff.